Yo, guys, welcome back to another commentary video. So if you saw one of my latest episodes, it was my buddy Tyson playing Swordsoul, and I enjoyed playing against it so much that I decided to pick up the deck again. I first played this deck back when it released, I think back in 2021, and I actually got my first regional top with it. I got 8th place at Kentucky, and I played it a little bit after that, but you know, naturally I just wanted to switch decks because I played it for so long. Fast forward 2 years later and I'm back on it again, so I'm going to be commentating a lot of my Swordsoul matches, no matter what deck I'm playing against. For some of the casual games, I usually just tell you guys some stories or chat about some BS, but I really like commentating the Swordsoul games because it's a very technical deck, honestly. In my hand right here, there was a different play that I could have done. So I activate Desires, draw 2. You can see my hand right here is I think it's Nib, Imperm, Vishuda, Longyan, and Valor. And the play that I think I could have done is, so right here, obviously I end on Baron and Imperm pass with Nib and Valor in hand, but there's a much better play I could have done, and I knew what I could have done, I just misplayed it. I played it wrong. So the play I should have done right here is special summon Vishuda to get a level 7 on board, activate Longyan, pitch the other Longyan, and go into Baron, and then normal summon the Valor, and use Valor and Vishuda to go into a Yugioh. And from there you can search your blackout, so you actually end on blackout, Imperm, Yugioh, and Baron with the Nib in hand, which is a much better play, but I just misplayed it, so you know, nothing I could really do there. But I end on Baron, Imperm, pass, and he's normal summons his Dinomorphia monster. That's the one that sets from the deck. But while he's going through his play, I'm actually gonna fast forward this video, so it's not gonna take too long. But I don't know what any of the Dinomorphia spells or traps do by just looking at them, so if you guys know, perfect. But that first turn play that I just talked about with the Vishuda, normal summon Valor, and special Longyan, I mean, there's so many very unique plays with this deck that you get punished for your misplays for sure. But it's also a nice learning experience. So here you can see the Dinomorphia player playing around the Imperm by setting 4 and not setting in the column that my Imperm's in. Then passing back over to me, I draw a Taya for turn, which is super solid because it allows me to go for a Baxia line and shuffle 2 back. But I activate Baron effect to pop the known set, and he's going to activate Intact to destroy my Baron. And it's a counter trap, so I can't negate it, unfortunately. It's a spell speed 3, I believe so. Yeah, counter traps are spell speed 3, Baron's a spell speed 2. If you guys don't know what spell speeds are, I would highly encourage you to look them up because it just helps with game knowledge. But he's activating his Dinomorphia trap to fusion summon, sends 1 material from deck and 1 from extra deck. Honestly, I feel like I'm in a pretty good position right now. I know what one of his sets are, and it's a spell or trap negate, and I can use my Imperm to bait that one out. He's gonna summon a Rexstrum. If you guys don't know what the Dinomorphia deck does, it pretty much summons a fusion, and it's a pretty big fusion. It also says that your opponent can't activate any monster effects that they control with attack points lower or higher than your life points, I believe. And all of the Dinomorphia effects, in order to activate them, you have to half your life points. So basically you're just paying a bunch of life points to floodgate your opponent for monster effects. But with Swordsoul it doesn't really matter because Vishuda, which is a very easy removal card, activates on hand or grave. So you see me summoning Vishuda right here, and then I'm going to link it off for a monk, and then that's going to allow me to activate the Vishuda effect, but I think I try to bait out the back row with the Imperm first. He's going to let it go through, but he quickly realizes that this is a misplay. I mean, either way, even if he negates this, I just bounce it back. I activate Vishuda effect to bounce the fusion to the extra deck, so it doesn't really matter what he does here. If you guys are familiar with chess at all, I pretty much have him in check right here, because I have the normal summon Taya, and then the last two cards in my hand are Nib and Veiler, which neither of them are going to do anything right here. Just reminding him right here that Imperm is activated on the Rexstrom, but banish Longyang for a Taya, get the Swordsoul token. You're gonna see me go into the Baxia line, shuffling that back row back, but honestly, right here, you could definitely make the argument that a Baxia line isn't even correct, because once I send with Baxia, then I don't have any follow-up to go alongside that. Fortunately, he scoops, so it doesn't really matter, but I think the correct line here probably would have just been go into a Shishao, add a Longyan, possibly, or so the problem is that I have to get rid of both cards. I think I guess it probably wouldn't have mattered because I have the Vishuda to bounce back the fusion, and then the back row didn't really matter. So adding a Blackout, going into a Shishao, adding Blackout, and then just bouncing with the Vishuda was probably the right play. So just small misplays, but nothing too impactful. It's just nice to note those small misplays, because if the only thing you're doing to critique your gameplay is just nitpicking, then that's good, because that means you're not making big impactful misplays anymore. So I mean, if you guys ever have the chance to, either play online or record your gameplay, always go over it. It helps you as a player, it helps you understand the game better and understand your lines of play, which is awesome. And that's, the goal is to always be better, right? So you can see my opening hand here, it's pretty solid. I got a Cosmic, I believe it's a Cosmic, maybe Blackout. I thought I saw a trap there. Yeah, Cosmic, Blackout, Ashuna, Vishuda. I draw evenly for turn, which is just, I mean, that's pretty much anything that you could ask for right here. So I go battle phase, end of battle phase. He's going to try to activate his traps here, but we quickly both realize that all of them say during the main phase, so none of them can actually be activated in the battle phase, which even if I let him take this back right here, it wouldn't matter. What he would just do is, activate them all during the main phase. He would fusion summon. Sure, maybe he keeps the Rexstrom. Great. I have a Vishuda in hand, so I just special summon that, link it off for Monk, and then bounce the Rexstrom. So I don't feel like Dinomorphia has a very good matchup at all versus Swordsoul. I mean, I think Swordsoul is actually pretty well positioned right here in the meta because of Vishuda, and because of the fact that it can play a lot of non-engine. So just very easy removal without destroying, which is pretty much what Fire King wants to do. They want their stuff to be destroyed, and since Vishuda doesn't do that, plays around it really perfectly. But if you guys ever open 10-yi combo, which is Ashuna plus any other 10-yi, then you're sitting in a good spot. The 10-yis are really solid for playing around just about everything, every kind of hand trap, or at least checking for every kind of hand trap as you're playing. And I mean, my hand is literally like customized right here. It's insane. But he's got, I think, 2 cards in hand, maybe. He's got 2 or 3 cards in hand. The reason I make Xiaofeng right here is because I don't have a battle phase, so I'm not going to kill him. And just in case he has Nib in hand, I want to play around that. So I'm going to make Xiaofeng. And I already have the Blackout, so I can destroy the Xiaofeng, pop 2 of his cards, and add Ash Blossom or an Ecclesia. Really, really solid setup here. I mean, again, going back to chess, I pretty much have him in check right here. There's not a whole lot he can do. It's a trap deck, so he's going to have to set some traps, and I'm just going to destroy him with Blackout. If he activates any monster effect, then I can, activate Shishao effect. Surprisingly here, he activates a runic spell, I think he's gonna attempt to summon. There is actually a pretty neat play that he could have done. So he still has a battle phase. He could have went directly into battle phase, summoned Gary, attack with Gary and destroy itself, and then pop a card on my side of the field. Which I think he probably could have popped the blackout. So then the only kind of interruption I would have had is the Yugioh. But activating Flashing Fire, trying to destroy my Cheng-Ying, but I remind him of the protection effect. So if Cheng-Ying were to be destroyed for whatever reason, I can banish a card from grave and protect itself, and then on resolution I can banish a card on field and a card in grave. So I kind of just advise him not to do that. He's going to set a card, and then I activate Blackout, targeting his Gary and targeting his back row. I didn't know that Gary couldn't be destroyed by card effects. So the Blackout resolves as much as possible because it says destroy them. So my Chao Feng will still get destroyed, and his back row gets destroyed. And you know, even though I didn't know that Gary couldn't be destroyed by card effect, I'm not even going to try to take it back. Right here, it doesn't really matter all too much. I'm just going to add Ecclesia. Oh, okay. Yep, okay, there we go. Yeah, I was going to say, I thought I remembered adding Ecclesia. Perfect. So, add Ecclesia, he passes turn. Got Potted Desires, and I mean, Potted Desires works so well with Cheng-Ying. It banishes 10, and Cheng-Ying gains 100 attack for each banish card, and reduces the, I believe it's attack and defense of opponent's monsters by 100 for each banish card. Drawing into the Moye, or using Ecclesia to get into Moye, going into a Synchro. I mean, my opponent is going to see that this is pretty much game right here. Activating a Shuna effect, getting the Adhara out. Yugioh effect, getting Emergence, and then doesn't look like I draw a card. Maybe I just missed it, or maybe I just didn't draw a card at all, but he says that's game anyways, and I agree with him, because I dropped the Potted Desires and just explained I can attack for a whole buttload of damage. So I appreciate you guys for sticking through to the end. Hopefully you guys like the commentary. Let me know what I could do better as far as commentary, what decks you guys want to see, any kind of specific feature matches or content, let me know. And as always, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.